Hi there, and welcome to the second video posted on my channel. By the time you watch this, the first one might very well have been taken down due to copyright infringement, but I'll leave a link in the description. The first video featured the 2024 Derbyshire DJI event, which I filmed using my old school GoPro Hero 4 action camera. The decision to use this camera was straightforward. At the time it was the only action camera I owned. I enjoyed the process of putting a YouTube video together, and it's given me the bug to make more content. When I filmed the DJI, I had the GoPro mounted to my handlebars, facing forwards, and also rotated 180 degrees towards myself to vary the camera angle. I was quite pleased with some of the footage I captured on the DJI. However, what you can see now in this more recent footage is the same GoPro Hero 4 camera mounted to my helmet. The image is far too unstable to create good quality content for YouTube, in my opinion. So I decided to get a new camera, and after reading several reviews and watching the odd YouTube video, it was a toss-up between the DJI Osmo Action 4 and the GoPro Hero 13 Black. The DJI was the cheaper option, and by all accounts as good if not better than the latest GoPro, so it was a no-brainer. The only fly in the ointment, as it were, was DJI deciding to release the Osmo Action 5 about 1 month after I purchased the Action 4. And the Action 4 dropping in price from $289 to $220. However, with the GoPro Hero 13 Black coming in at £360 on Amazon, the Osmo 4 is still a good buy. Improvement in image quality with the Osmo Action 4 compared to my 10-year-old GoPro Hero 4 is immediately obvious. Although the GoPro Hero 4 Black is capable of 4K, it lacks image stabilisation, and this alone makes a massive difference in video quality, especially for helmet mounted video. Comparing the footage produced by each camera, you can really see how much action cameras have improved since the Hero 4 was released. I'm sure the Hero 4 was the last generation of Hero Black cameras not to incorporate some form of image stabilisation. Another example of me purchasing at the worst possible time. And for you tech nerds out there, both cameras here are set at 4K 25 frames per second, the only difference being the rock-steady stabilisation being selected on the DJI. Actually thinking about it, apart from image stabilisation, there will obviously be a number of reasons why the image captured by the Osmo 4 is better, like a larger, more sophisticated sensor, better processors and firmware, all of which resulting in faster bit rates. Yeah, okay, I'm a tech nerd too. Coming down Cromford Hill, the Osmo 4 does a great job of capturing the slightly moody sky and the rolling hillsides of the Derbyshire Dales. I'm really impressed with the image quality on this first run with the camera. It remains to be seen how much of that will be lost when it's uploaded to YouTube, but hopefully some of it will come across. The DJI Osmo Action 4 will be more than good enough to create visual content for the channel moving forward. So now I'm starting to think about capturing good audio. The inbuilt microphone on the Osmo seems to do a good job of recording sound in the immediate vicinity, and will probably be sufficient for good audio under the right conditions. However, it's not going to capture my voice with the camera on the outside of my helmet, especially travelling on the motorway at 70 miles an hour, and the wind noise will almost certainly interfere with capturing the sound of the Triumph Speed Twin. The solution to both of these audio challenges is an external microphone, so more on that in later videos. For the time being, the plan is to keep the GoPro for additional camera angles. Apart from the lack of image stabilisation, it's still capable of creating some great 4K video, and although practically useless for handheld filming, it works quite well mounted on motorcycle handlebars or on the windscreen of a van. It does a good job of making time-lapse recordings, including a night time-lapse mode. So what sort of content can you expect on the channel in the coming months? Well, there's no prizes for guessing that a lot of it will be motorcycle related, and I expect some of my other interests like running and cycling will occasionally find its way onto the odd video. As well as the Triumph Speed Twin, we have a camper van based on a Fiat Ducato that's capable of taking a motorcycle in the garage area. The bed has to be raised to allow this to happen, but it's a straightforward process to load the bike and then head off touring with both. We have a trip planned for later this year, including plans to do some of the North Coast 500, I'm hoping to get at least one video out of that and to make some content around the camper van itself. YouTube is a great resource for information. When we first got the camper van, the intention was always to load the speed twin in the back and head off on our adventures. However, the reality of loading a 220 kilogram motorcycle in the back of a brand new camper van was quite daunting at first. I managed to find a few YouTube videos on loading bikes into vans, which were a great help. With the knowledge gained, I developed my own method for loading the bike, which I'll probably share on this channel when I get a chance. I've decided to start my advanced rider training with the Institute of Advanced Motorists, or I Am Road Smart as they now call themselves. I thought it would be good to get some additional training that potentially will make me a better and safer rider. I'll consider making some content on this if I can, and if it doesn't distract from the learning process. I've definitely developed some bad riding habits since I passed my test over 30 years ago. I think for many of us, motorcycles evoke a lot of memories, and I associate bikes with periods in my life. You can expect the channel to shamelessly include some modern vintage and small motorcycle nostalgia. From an early age, mopeds and motorcycles were ever present, especially in my formative years. I can remember riding my dad's Honda 50cc Express in circles around our tiny garden when I was about 8 or 9 years old, with my even younger brother strapped on the back as pillion. I can remember lusting after bikes older kids on the estate had in the late 70s, like the Suzuki X7, a 250cc motorcycle capable of doing 100 miles an hour, which you could legally ride age 17 on a provisional licence. In my early teens, I remember having an immense amount of fun riding my friend's Yamaha TY80 Trials bike in nearby woods. I remember commuting to my first job on my Yamaha RD125LC in my later teens and sliding it down the road one icy morning. Even the beat up old Honda CB125 I had in my 30s for commuting brings back fond memories. In later life, trips to Europe on my Yamaha R6 and Yamaha R1 helped to develop a love of France. Still to this day, touring France on a motorcycle is as good as it gets for me. My current bike is a 2020 Triumph Speed Twin, which I've owned from new. It's been a great bike to own, proving to be a really good all-rounder. It's possibly a little cramped to up with luggage, but I've had some enjoyable weekends away on it. No bike is perfect, and I've had to make some modifications from new, such as changing out the rear suspension. The rear shocks that came with the bike were pretty poor. They were virtually impossible to adjust for preload with a supplied tool, which for me is a definite disadvantage. I'm constantly swapping between solo riding and taking a pillion. The rear of the bike would drop quite a lot with a pillion and luggage with the standard rear shocks, and as a result the bike would rock forwards and backwards under braking and acceleration. I changed out the OEM shock absorbers for some Nitron R3 units. These are easier to adjust for preload, and they are a big improvement over the originals. The front suspension on the 2020 Twin is not rated by many people either, but I find it okay. I tend to be quite restrained in my riding these days, and I don't really need a lot of performance from the front end. I have toyed with the idea of swapping out the front fork internals for the Nitron kit that's available, and it's something I might get round to doing at some point in the future. I also swapped out the original black end cans for some UK road legal Vance & Hines stainless steel slip-ons. That turned out to be more of an aesthetic upgrade than anything else. I didn't detect any improvement to performance, and only a slight difference in the exhaust note. They give the bike a bit more of a low end rumble, but it's barely noticeable. However, for me they do look better than the stock black units, which were not easy to clean. The Vance & Hines slip-ons were an official optional upgrade, but I have noticed they've been removed from the Triumph parts catalogue. I expect that's to stop them being fitted to later models designed to meet Euro 5, which became mandatory for new bikes in 2021. If you have a 2019 or 2020 Speed Twin, you should still be able to find a set on eBay if you fancy a change. I managed to pick up the Vance & Hines silencers I have on my bike for a few £100 second hand. They were originally fitted to a Thruxton 1200, a bike which shares many of the same components. I still enjoy the Speed Twin after 4 years of ownership, and for me it continues to be a great looking bike. The 1200cc high torque engine in the version I have develops 92 PS, which is around 90 horsepower in good old fashioned imperial units. It's quite a torquey motor, developing 112 Nm of torque at just under 5000 RPM, and it almost has a Jekyll and Hyde character to it. It's quite happy poodling along at relaxed speeds, but will also pull quite hard if you want it to. It's not super bike performance by any means, but it's plenty fast enough, and copes well with a pillion. I think a walk round of the bike at some point will interest some viewers perhaps looking to pick up a used model. I have no immediate plans to sell the Speed Twin, but I am contemplating adding another bike to the garage. A dedicated touring bike would be a good option for me right now. A lot of the riding I do is 2-up with luggage, so a touring bike makes sense. I don't have visions of becoming a full-time YouTuber and making millions. This is very much a hobby for me now, and something I want to enjoy doing, without the added pressure of uploading a new video every week. However, I do want to create content people want to watch, and hopefully build a subscriber base. So here comes the usual vlogger pitch. If you think the content plan for the channel might interest you, then why not subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. At the very least it will show the content is getting out there and people are watching it. Take care, ride safe, and hopefully see you for the next video.